Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. I would like to share a benefit from this ayah. Allah is talking about Yusuf when the wife of Al-Aziz, whom he stayed with as their slave in Egypt, tried to seduce him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that she desired him, and he would have desired her if not for the ayah. Burhan is like evidence or sign that he saw from his Lord. And he said, Kazalika linasrifu anhu su'a wal fa'sha innahu min ibadina al mukhlisin. So Allah said he turned away from Yusuf su wal fa'sha. And Sheikh Islam Taymiyyah explains that this su, right, she desired him, right, for zina. But this su was what? Oops. This su coming. Yes. So this was like the thoughts, right? Evil thoughts. Su is usually translated as evil. But he explained that this fasha was the action, like the immoral action. So now, right, what is usually known is that we are prohibited from actions that are known as disobedience to Allah. But however, like the thoughts too are also included, in the sense that usually before we have any action, the thoughts will actually be there. The thoughts that somebody might have been like thinking of it, right, before actually doing it. And this is from the completeness of Islam, in the sense that it's not just the action, but also the thoughts too is something that is considered, right? So if Allah is prohibiting us from evil, right, from wrong actions, then we are not supposed to actually be thinking about it. And like Sheikhul Islam Ibn Taymiyyah explained, that the reason why he was like saved from this is that he was mukhlisin. Mukhlisin is like sincerity, right? He was sincere in Allah. That means all his thoughts was for Allah alone. And this sincerity, of course, we should know the importance of it. And I would like to draw another ayah where shaitan is telling Allah that he's going to mislead all of his slaves, all the children of Adam, except his ibad, except his chosen slave, except this mukhlisin once more. So, meaning that those that are sincere to Allah, right, they are saved from shaitan's plots. And as Allah said, shaitan doesn't have any authority over Allah's sincere slave. And so when someone is sincere, that means his thoughts, right, are for Allah alone. And thoughts in such a way that there's like desire, there is love, right? And loving Allah is loving what he hates, loving what he loves upon, and hating what he hates, loving for his sake, giving, and like withholding, all for the sake of Allah. So when somebody is sincere, shaitan cannot do anything against him. And if we give an example with like cigarette, you see that the person that wants to like engage in the action of, let's say, smoking it, right, he already have thoughts of it, right? But somebody that doesn't do anything with it, that doesn't have anything to do with it, you see that he doesn't even have any thoughts about it at all. And that is kind of what sincerity is like, right? That when somebody is sincere, he doesn't have his thoughts such a way that he doesn't give space for this evil. And when evil thoughts are not there, right, the shaitan doesn't have anything to use against such person. So sincerity is important. How can we like make ourselves sincere? And I'll just like end it that if we notice the things in the dunya, whatever we engage in, whether it's our work, whether it's our friends, whether it's like the news, what we see, what we hear about, there's hardly any connection, right, to Allah, right? So we should remove ourselves from it as much as possible. However, when we expose ourselves to Islam, Islamic knowledge, right, the scholars, their stories, right, the circles of knowledge, the ulama, the teachers, right, that's when we expose ourselves to Allah. And then the more we can expose ourselves, mhm, I even forgot the book of Allah, most especially, right? The more we can expose ourselves to this, right, and we see Allah in His attributes, understand that He is the only one worthy of worship, that He is the greatest, that He is all powerful, all merciful, right, and we can see all these things in our actions, right? That is when our thoughts will be drawn towards Him, and inshallah, that will make us more sincere. So we need to expose ourselves to the things that remind us of Allah and turn away as much as possible, even if we might have need, right? Engage in it as little as possible. That is our need, right? And turn our attention to the things that remind us of Allah. And by this sincerity, right, we will be rewarded for our actions and thoughts that um, turn us away or to direct our, them, thoughts that direct our minds towards evil will not occupy us. And of course, nobody is perfect. And inshallah, by this sincerity and having these right thoughts, we protected from the shaitan. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik shalla ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.